Welcome to another episode of the Ballinesian podcast. I'm always talking about sports. Going to be focusing in on the upcoming Week 6 in the NFL for the Chargers, who head to Denver, the Raiders, who host the Steelers, and then we'll see what other games we get into. But first, Livasa Island Apparel, www.livasaislandapparel.com. Put on for the culture. Catch the wave. Definitely check them out. Also on Instagram at le_Vasa. Forrest, what's the latest goodness that they got coming out of Livasa that you saw?
Oh man, they still have some tie-dye sweatsuits out there. I know one of the sweaters, which is probably my favorite one, the color, with the is it Fiji? I think it's the Fijian stamped on the front as the print. They still have one left. It's or a couple at extra large. They've got a whole suit left, different color. I think it's the Bolu stamp on it. He still got the hoodie and the pants left. He's also got the shorts out. He's got the shorts still going. So Levasa shorts. He's got the Levasa shorts, man. So
what do you is he said he's gonna send you a special pair? Did you ask for a special version of the shorts?
Man, I gotta show my tattoo dog. You need some Hoochie Daddy shorts, dog. So summer is gone.
Some workout shorts.
Right. Summer's gone, but I'm still brave enough to wear it out in the PNW during the fall. So
Fall season.
All things I wouldn't do in American Samoa.
This I'm looking forward to coming up with the girls up your way next month and taking some pictures.
Hell yeah.
I really want to do that for our family Christmas card or something. But that time of that season is coming up. We're starting to watch scary movies. Football is freaking almost halfway through. That's over so fast. It's getting cooler.
Yeah, I've been on my Harry Potter game. I know it's not November or Christmas, but Halloween, same thing. So I started with Harry Potter. I did watch. Did I watch The Corpse Bride? Is that what it's called? I'm bad.
That sounds familiar. Isn't that
It's animated or Tim Burton.
Yeah.
I watched that. I watched the original Beetlejuice. So definitely I watch scary movies in the regular just in case people are wondering well, why don't you watch scary movies? I just watch scary movies anyway. Just to guys, just to let you guys know.
I need to watch the first Beetlejuice before we go see the new one. Have you seen the
Beetlejuice? I haven't seen the new one. I haven't. I've been planning to. I did go watch Alien Romulus. I went with Junior Luvu. He didn't really like it. Well, he didn't say he didn't like it. He said it was okay. I liked it.
It was cool. Thanks for bringing me.
Right. Nice guy. Actually, he brought me, I think.
Oh no.
No, one of us paid for the tickets, one of us paid for the food. I forgot what it was. But I thought it was pretty good. I'm a little older than Junior too, so I'm part of the original Alien generation, and then I also got to see Prometheus, and this happens I think it's in the future. It's 40 years after Prometheus, so I thought it was pretty cool, pretty dope.
You had the backstory in the previous movies. It was and he was just I'll go with you. What is this?
Right.
Oh, that's kind of weird, man. A lot of Easter eggs.
I got to see an alien come out of people's chests, which is always cool. It's pretty cool.
Is that how they exit usually? Just straight through the middle?
Yeah, straight through the middle. Middle chest, just in case everybody's
just rip the sternum out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice. It is that season. Freaking baseball playoffs. What's good? You got anybody you're rooting for?
Sadly, my Braves lost. And I don't root for Dodgers because Dodgers fans are obnoxious.
Right.
Somebody said they're the Raiders of Major League Baseball. I took offense to that. They have a clip of this dude walking down the steps, and he throws his beer he chucks it from the stands, and it makes it to the field. and he's flipping players off from the opposing team. I was like, obnoxious. Raiders fans would never. And then like on the next tip that rolls by, it's a Raiders fan fighting in the stands. Like, can't win. You just can't win.
There was a game 2 in LA, a bunch of balls and trash being thrown on the field during the game, and the Dodgers ended up losing like 10-2 or something.
That's why.
I mean, that was not a good look. Fans were being really entitled, and don't throw stuff at players.
They're passionate.
Nah, you can't. Well, definitely don't like endanger the players or slow down the game. Like Darvish had to warm up like 2 times. Like he was waiting for stuff to go on. They had security pulling the outfielders in towards the diamond and stuff to get away from the projectiles. But
yeah, that's
that game 3 is actually happening in San Diego here in a little bit. So
if I had to root for somebody now that the Braves are out, it would definitely be the Dodgers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
let's put all our energy together and go Dodgers. He's like, I'm not doing that.
Probably not, but
he's like, I just want them to win. I'm not gonna cheer. Baseball playoffs. Basketball starting up soon.
Preseason started. Alonzo Ball plays tonight. Actually, they're playing right now. And
nice.
he's been activated to play. It's been Welcome 2 long years since we've seen Alonzo Ball play ball. Probably one of the best pure passers in the game. He is just deadly on the break in transition. Man, I would say he's a better passer than his brother, who people praise. LaMelo. There's only one Melo in the league. LaMelo
took his name.
LaMelo Ball. He's a better passer than LaMelo. Definitely a better all-around player than his brother. What's his brother's name? Gelato, the ice cream.
Leangelo.
Oh, is that? I thought it was Gelato because he's bigger than the other two. But yeah, Jello better than Jello. But excited to see him play. I'm glad he's still with the Bulls. There's something to look forward to. Zach LaVine's actually still with the Bulls, so I like watching like Zach LaVine, but I might want to watch him on another team this year. I think maybe we can get something for him.
Yeah, you're ready to move on. This guy's not. He jumps real high, but not consistently enough to.
But he shoots really well too. He's a great. He doesn't play too much defense. He's not like a defensive guy, but got a ton of offense. But what I really am excited about seeing is the young Samoan out in Minnesota. We got to see the young Samoan woman or lady play out in Minnesota this past season for the WNBA with Elisa Pili. And now we get to watch. We get to watch Rob Dillingham, whose mom is Samoan as well. And he reps the culture pretty well. And I'm not just talking about this shoulder tattoo. Anytime they ask him about how he feels about being a role model for a lot of young Polynesian kids, he says he doesn't take it lightly. It's really deep for him. He loves it that kids of Polynesian culture can look on the court now in the league and see him out there playing, just showing them that they can make it out there too. So great to hear him talk about when they interview him, and he's always talking like there's someone else. I know it's probably the same Samoan reporter following him around in the league.
So still about the representation.
Right. So, Rob, what do you think about you inside the NBA?
No. They sent a fob reporter to go follow him around.
If you let me in, I swear to God, I'll do that. I will do the accent. Let me in. Let me in.
Rob Dillingham, NBA, MLB, NFL.
Oh, sorry.
Freaking soccer. Well,
sorry, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't want to just glaze by another
glazy.
Okay, wrong word. We won't use that word on this podcast ever again. Thank you, Lance. I just want to roll over another young Samoan who's playing out in Detroit, undrafted but signed to Detroit's team after a great summer league. Tolu Smith, who played ball at Mississippi State, 6'10" center. He looks really good too. He's from Kahuku. He played ball at Kahuku. He's from Hawaii. Made it all the way out. He I think he was at TCU first, if I'm not correct. He was at another school first before Mississippi State, but transferred over to Mississippi State and was able to take them into a deep run in the NCAA last year, the championships, March Madness. So those two right now, great to see them playing. I know Deshaun Nix is still he's on a roster. The last I remember, he was with the Pelicans. So hopefully he makes the active roster and isn't in the G League this whole year. So great to see those guys out there.
Someone else in the G League this year is going to be Bronny James. Him and his dad, history. First father and son to play in an NBA game. People are blowing this up like it's like a huge.
Hey man, look, it's not my fault. He had premarital sex in high school, and now I got to hear about it, and people are praising him because he has the bro. You know what I mean? Like he did something wrong. You had your kid way too young, and now, no, I'm just kidding. Great story, great story. I mean, anybody who would get the chance to play with their son or their dad, because like there are reports now that Bronny decided for himself that he wanted to go to the league and he wasn't pressured. This coming from his agent and LeBron's best friend. What's his name?
Is it Dave? Is Dave Mulgeta his agent? Wait.
Huh?
No, Rich James. Sorry, I'm thinking about
I was about to, no, that's not that's not yeah, coming from Rich Paul. So yeah, coming from him, which is also funny because the reports were all my successes from me, not my dad. He made that statement a few weeks ago. Sure, buddy. Okay.
All my successes for me, not my dad. I know. I kind of believe that. Like he doesn't want to do it for his dad. He wants to do it for himself.
No, he said everything. Never mind. He also said that he wanted to make a name for himself and not use number 23.
Wait, what?
Your name is LeBron James Jr.
Yeah, he's not trying to change his name. He's trying to make a name for himself.
I'm just kidding. I like seeing these Laker fans get all riled up when I make fun of Bron. I do it to Noah all the time.
I didn't understand, but yeah, okay.
Great to see, though. That is great to see. I know people are blowing it up like it's such a big thing. Like everywhere they go, they're getting so much more. Like I don't hear regular Laker talk about basketball. Like a lot of the Laker talk I'm hearing right now is LeBron and his father at practice, or Bronny's chase down block looking like his father. If I'm a Laker fan, I'd like to hear how the roster is going to shape out.
I forgot JJ Redick was the coach until like I saw him on like a press conference like doing stuff. But yeah, there's a bunch of it's going to look good for the Lakers. I think the rosters are okay.
I think the last one, which I loved, when he was asked about Rui Hachimaru's about his game. Somebody asked him like, "So what is his next step?" And he asked the reporter, "Well, what do you think his next step should be?" Because like we haven't discussed, like we think he's doing pretty fine. And the reporter was kind of just like, "Well, you're the coach." I was like, "Bro, no one was ever asking about whether Rui Hachimaru was going to take the next step or can he take the next step. He's doing really well. We like what he's doing."
So you're the one creating the narrative of it, asking the question, trying to make it a thing. But
those were his words. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's a good point, though. Yeah. Like, just the actual questions that the reporters ask can like turn the answer into something, and people are like, "Oh, damn, yeah, JJ Redick's talking about Rui Hachimura."
Definitely.
And instead, it's like, "Oh, he was asked a very specific, kind of leading, maybe loaded question about it."
Exactly.
So that someone could write it into their, probably story they already had planned out. So,
I mean, which also buys into like, everybody knows that today Robert Saleh was fired by the New York Jets, but I think Aaron Rodgers made it a point. Him and his camp made it a point to come out and say that the relationship between him and Robert Saleh wasn't bad. Like that had nothing to do with it, because of course, as soon as he got fired, everybody was like, "Oh shit, Aaron Rodgers got him fired."
the owner of the Jets met with Aaron Rodgers the night before they fired the coach.
Right. So
what was that for? He was just letting them know. He's like, hey,
guess what?
Well, I mean, but Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, he was like, I met with Aaron Rodgers, but he didn't have any say, on it. But I mean,
Woody also said that he didn't consult any of the other people on the team, like people in the front office. He went ahead and did it himself. He just came out and said that right before
ridiculous.
Yeah, he said he didn't contact, no consulting with any of the other front office people. He just went ahead and fired him.
Are you? Oh,
that's horrible to work for, right? Why would you want to be a coach there now? Like, who are you going to get to come coach you?
That's a good point. Are there any other? I mean, so interim head coach is defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich.
I'm happy about that.
Is go ahead. Former NFL linebacker for the Niners, and also, from where was he? San Diego. He ended up going to college in Hawaii Mano.
Yeah. Bro, he was lights out at linebacker, bro. He's like, nice. I think if he had like better measurables, height probably, I think he would have been something like not as good now, but like Urlacher. He was in that range, like
damn. Nice.
Boy, he was so fun to watch at UH. Like, he was always in the middle of things, making plays, definitely always smacking people like he could hit. So great to see him come from like that. Played only a few seasons in the NFL, and then worked his way up the coaching ranks, and now getting his chance. Sucks that he's getting that chance like that because he's one of Robert Saleh's guys. He went over there with him to be his DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he followed over there to be his DC. Got his chance. I'm sure Robert Saleh's super happy for him, but he is now the interim head coach in New York for the Jets. So, yeah.
Drafted in 2000 by the San Francisco 49ers. He retired. Ulbrich retired in 2009 due to a concussion. And then, like you said, worked his way up the coaching ladder and is now going to be the head coach for the Jets until they find somebody else. Is there somebody like right away you can think of? Because I'm trying to think of coaches that aren't coaching right now. And I'm like, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban pop up.
Belichick was with the Jets at one point in his career, so can make his way back there. I don't know if Saban would come back to the NFL.
Yeah, it's too late to.
Yeah, I think the only one bold enough. Right, I think the only one bold enough to do it would be Urban Meyer, but we know how that went. We know how that went.
I can go again. No, Urban, sit down. Mike Vrabel. I don't think he's a head coach this year.
He's not. Did he move to coordinator? He did. He was picked up not too long, like in the offseason after being fired. So he is somewhere. But hey, Jeff Saturday, I mean, he beat the Raiders. God damn it.
Oh man. Coach Jeff Saturday. I actually just forgot about that entirely. I was like, the guy from ESPN's Get Up with Mike Greenberg.
I do
Manny's old center.
Old center, yeah. I do think there's a couple of like young and up and coming coordinators that are going to get a lot of buzz in the off season.
Not one of these in-season firing.
No, I don't. Yeah, no.
They're going to take over clean in the off-season.
Yeah, I think Ulbrich should be good to coach the rest of the season.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to have someone right away because, I mean, I know it's early in the season, but that's tough that someone's going to leave their job from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, and Ulbrich right now probably has the locker room still because he's been there for 3 seasons as their defensive coordinator. So, yeah, I like Ulbrich there. Hopefully he gets a second chance or a whole chance. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah. He's he's going the Antonio Pierce route. You know what I'm saying? Like former player. Right. He's a big-time defensive coach. He takes over midseason, has a chance, and he's got a pretty stacked roster as far as like names and talent.
He does.
So
he does need a quarterback though, because their quarterback sucks.
and
Their
has a
quarterback.
freaking low ankle sprain.
That okay? So did you? Am I the only one that watched that play and thought it was his fault because he tried to bend back
Yeah,
himself?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? Did you see that? Okay, he was bending. I'm like, bro,
He
just
was scared. He
you're
was
taught
scared
to
his
fall.
shit got tore up all over again. He
He
was
should have
crawling
just.
away, trying to like
Yeah, that's
testing
his
it. And he's
fault.
like, I don't know. I don't know. Is it? Is it? It
So
hurts
he
a
got
lot.
tackled. I saw that he was about to get rolled up, but had he just fallen forward with the play, with the flow of the tackle, he would have been fine. But he bends backwards and he's trying to
Twisted
get
it.
out of the tackle. Yeah, like, but you
Aaron,
suck,
Aaron, you're
Aaron
not
Rodgers.
that guy. You're not
No,
that guy anymore. You can't do the, I mean, it's tough watching Aaron Rodgers get beat up knowing he's like 40 years old because you're like, oh, elder abuse.
not for
He,
me.
he doesn't have that same kind of waggle rollout and Chuck Deep Hail Mary play now. It's
No,
like
no, yeah.
he's getting
It's
lit up. I don't know if it's the Jets O line, if it's Nathaniel Hackett, calling the plays, but reportedly Aaron Rodgers gets to the line and starts making adjustments, audibles, changing things, right? He's like, I want it to look a certain way, so I'm gonna, do it my way. So I don't
right.
know. I mean,
It could be because I mean, hey, like people look at both sides of the line and just look like these big guys just kind of just run into each other. One's trying to block the other one from getting to the quarterback, and the other one's just trying to push his way through. That's not the case. The schemes that these guys have to learn, just so that your quarterback isn't on the ground the whole game. They're pretty like some of them are pretty intricate. The way you got to step, the gaps that you're covering, the spacing between the linemen. If that's wrong, then that kind of just like they say, weakest link. And if there's a weak link in the chain, which is your line, then obviously people are going to get through. So if he's changing stuff at the line, I mean, it could be that they're just not really ready for it. Like they're not picking it up because they've been learning from
yes.
So
There's
yeah,
sometimes when the receiver, runs straight instead of doing the like back shoulder or something. It's
right,
just miscommunication. Like it
yeah,
might be
yeah,
okay, the quarterback sees something, the wide receiver sees something different, so they run different options, they throw a different route. So,
right.
but
Which go ahead.
oh, the Jets. I mean, the Jets are 2-3, I think. Like Aaron
It's
Rodgers
early.
said, yeah, it's pretty early. Aaron Rodgers, I keep going back to that quote he said at the beginning of the season where he's like, if I come in here and light it up, then it's cool. But if we lose, it's just the same old Jets. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I was like, oh shit. Same old Jets. Kind of just looking like that. Their game this week, or were you gonna say something else about them?
I was just gonna say it goes to the fact that how these quarterbacks look for people they're comfortable with, which is why everywhere he
Yes.
goes, he tries so hard to get Davante Adams to come. Like, I don't know
Randall
how hard he's
Cobb,
actively Randall
Alan
Cobb, right?
Lazard.
And people were like, well, those guys are like they're like mediocre receivers, yes, on your team. But with Aaron Rodgers, they
Yeah.
know where he's gonna throw, they know what he wants them to do,
Mm.
and he knows that where they're gonna be at. So yeah, Randall Cobb, people were like, well, that guy's, I mean, he's done, he's washed. Why would you want him?
My
Because there's
friend,
right,
he
that's
knows
my
when to
friend.
turn.
Exactly. And like people are like, I mean, I think behind the scenes we don't know, but I think the Jets really are pushing to make that trade for Davante Adams. And the word
Oh,
was that the deal might have been done by tonight, but I mean, that's the world of the business of the NFL. I mean, there's still a lot of teams going in. The Raiders still got to like take into consideration what they're getting back. But I think Davante Adams, the only thing he's worried about right now is how many years Aaron Rodgers is going to stay in New York because he doesn't want to have to go there.
yeah,
Rodgers is
yeah.
gone, just like how he got there, and they sent Derek Carr packing, who he went to play with, who by the way is trash after watching last night. Trash. But yeah, I'm just that's how I was gonna say. This is just how a lot of people don't see how that works for them. Like people just think like he's just crying because he wants Davante Adams to come over because that's his homie, or you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like it's not gonna
I think
work.
they have to do it. I think they have to do. You already fired Robert Saleh. Like you need to
Yeah,
go all in, make this
another big
trade,
splash, right?
give Aaron Rodgers what he says he needs. He's talking like he's mentioned Davante Adams a couple of times in interviews
Yep.
talking about the
Yep.
Jets. He's like,
He tries to
what, you know,
downplay it too, but
he's like, I had a special connection with that guy.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And once Garrett Wilson gets on the same way, we're going to have a special connection too. But he keeps like mentioning, like, you know, we're not there yet. Davante Adams is great. If they can get him to New York, then the Jets have no excuse, right? They're supposedly have a good defense. You got Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, calling the shots. And you have Aaron Rodgers with a full complement of weapons. I don't know what happened to Breece Hall, but you still have Braylon Allen, Breece Hall, and Tyler
right.
Conklin. I think he's getting I think he's at 17 catches on 27 targets.
And then
And you have wide receivers that are still really good. So that
two,
should be all the pieces to get to the Super Bowl, or at least the playoffs.
Right. And I think the Raiders would they would genuinely take Hassan Reddick and a second rounder. And I know a lot of people are like, a second rounder, that's a lot. Yeah, but it is Davante Adams. And I think if
we were saying first rounder last week.
Everybody wants a first rounder if you're a Raiders fan, but
yeah,
I wouldn't take a first rounder if I was another team. He's older. There's no telling how long he's gonna play. This is the second team he's forced his way out of, you know. There's a lot that comes with him. So
about Davante, it's like his last couple of years though.
Mainly that's what it is. So you're not gonna pay premium price for someone who might retire or who might fall off, who by the way hasn't fallen off, just in case you guys think I'm saying he's washed. He's not washed.
He just hurt.
Right, he's just hurt right now. But yeah. I think a second rounder and Hassan Reddick, I think that
helps the Jets too, get rid of that Reddick, debacle that's happening.
Some teams are also afraid of taking on the full contract that Davante has, and they want the Raiders to take part of it. The money wise.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for.
What do you think about that? You think that's fair?
Yeah. I mean, because it's going to be a lot off the cap. So if they can take maybe just a little bit, plus Hassan Reddick and maybe a second and a third rounder, that'd be fair.
Jesus, like, hey, just give us everything.
Hey, give us everything, and we'll give you what Aaron Rodgers thinks he needs to get to the Super Bowl.
I saw, I think his name is Jordan Schultz, was saying that the Raiders are still hard on a second rounder, trying to get a second rounder in return as part of a package. So second rounder plus, probably players or later picks.
Later picks.
But there is also the math to Davante's contract that every week someone waits. That's like $1.8 million that the Raiders pay. That's one of his like game checks, that they don't have to pay. So if they wait until like week 8, then it's less for them to have to pay Davante for the rest of the season.
Which is also why the Raiders are trying their best to get him traded as soon as possible.
Oh, okay. So they're trying to save that like extra $3 million, $4.5 million they would have.
Right.
A couple weeks
early. It's also a money game. Once it comes down to like once you decided that you're about to trade a player, then it becomes a business now. So they've got to get the best return on this investment that they're going to ship away. So
true. Hey, and you got Tom Telesco to lead that charge.
I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem with Tom Telesco because it's his first year. You got to let these guys work. We'll see what he does. His first full year. So
this is a big kind of milestone point, though. Like, what can you get back? You got to get out of the Davante contract because it's $44 million next year and in 2026. So what's going to happen right now could affect the Raiders for a long time, for years ahead.
And for Telesco, this could really make or break his career going forward.
Anyone that has done the dynasty leagues or the Madden leagues, those first moves, like you sometimes want to come in and clear house, right? Get rid of all the big contracts. So we're just starting from the ground. Like those moves,
grab the guys you want.
Yeah. Grab the guys your coach wants. That's going to be like mesh well with the people you're already keeping. But it's definitely like something you got to kind of get done big time and early. And he didn't force this issue. I see Davante is like, the one. I'm ready to leave. You can trade me if you're not going to give me that extension that I want. And I think if you're Telesco, you can't give Davante an extension.
No, he's not your guy. You don't want to be there.
That too. Well, Telesco freaking saw Davante beat up the Chargers. I think Davante had like 100 yards
140,
twice a year.
141, 160.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, Davante's all mad. He's like, I averaged 10 catches, 150 yards for these fools. They put me next to a garbage Pop-Tart. Okay. It's mad. Get me out of this division. I want out. It's disrespectful.
While we're on the Raiders, we'll stay here on the Raiders because we were going to talk about how they embarrassed themselves on Sunday.
We can move on. We don't have to talk about
okay.
Week 5.
We'll be fair because I love talking about when you guys lose too. So they took a big loss on Sunday. But they're taking before we get to that game, they're also taking a bigger loss for at least the next 4 games. Christian Wilkins had foot surgery and will be put on IR for the next 4 games at least. That was their big money move this offseason. So that hurts because he's been pretty big for them. They have been crappy against the run, but he's also been one of the brighter spots for them this season, this early season. So they will be without their big guy in the middle, Christian Wilkins, for at least 4 games. And they kind of look like they were without him on Saturday because they could not stop the run. And that's been their problem this season, stopping the run. Javonte Williams also, even though the Raiders won last year, Javonte Williams still had decent games against the Raiders last season. So continues his he didn't have a great game, but he still had times where he was carving up that D line. Bo Nix had a decent game. I think got his first touchdown in the air, or second at least, during the game. But I'm not a Broncos fan, so I don't want to talk about them. Let's talk about the Raiders. The Raiders, even Minshew had a horrible game. The touchdown he threw to Bowers was all Bowers. The athleticism showed. Bowers jumped like 1,000 feet in the air, came down, spun, and put whoever was behind him in the spin cycle. And I think it was about a 59-yard touchdown. And then on the next play, at the goal line, on that play, the touchdown play, Minshew also is throwing off his back foot. He just kind of lobs it up there. Hey, catch that for me, please. Bowers, you're good. Catch it. And then on the next drive, they go down and he's looking for Bowers again, but horribly overthrows, right over his head, right into the arms of Patrick Surtain. I won't call him PS2. I'm a grown ass man. Just kidding. I'm just hating.
That's a pretty cool name.
It's a pretty cool name. Yeah, fucker.
Patrick Surtain, number 2. Patrick Surtain, the 2nd.
Yeah, oh man, so cool. But yeah, he throws that, and a lot of fans are going to be like, "Oh man, that was a turning point in the game." I mean, you can say that because after that, he was trash. After that, they benched him. O'Connell came in and in the 3rd, but it was kind of too late after that. I know morale was down. They're dealing with their best player not playing anymore, who wanting to be traded, losing Christian Wilkins. Just a lot of things going on right now, and so trying to come back from that is tough. And you can see it on the field. Guys weren't giving up. They just didn't have the energy after that. It's just, it's like, man, on to the next one. They're ready to just get back into the practice field.
During the game, they were like,
towards the end of the game,
I feel like that game was close until that Surtain interception return touchdown.
You said it like it was in the 3rd or 4th quarter. Bro, it was in the 1st quarter.
No. Okay. But that flips.
No. I know what you're trying to say. It was
100-yard interception return. That means you guys were about to score. It was about to get, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, he was wide open.
Oh, shit.
Bro, I know he probably had some pressure on him, but had he put some touch on it, he was right in front of the goal line. You just really had to toss it to him, but it sails on him. Bauer's hand is like this, and it goes he's extending as far as he can get it, and it still doesn't hit his hand. So it's bro, such a bad throw. And I get it, man. Minshew's one of those guys that he does make those super great plays that you like to see on like Sports Center. You know what I mean? And those plays win game. He beat the Raiders last year, making a last minute drive, making plays like that. But it's not sustainable for the whole season. That's why he's not a starter in the league. Hopefully Aiden O'Connell comes in and can just develop at the least. That's not what I'm hoping for the season. Like, oh, let's give up and let Aiden O'Connell develop. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I hope he comes in and does a great job. He does have I think he has a better grasp of the system. He's been there longer than Minshew. He got to start there for a few games last season, and he wasn't like horrible. You know what I mean?
I blame Telesco. You brought in this guy. You should have had AOC. Save the Gardner Minshew money. Give it to Davante. And just start AOC. Just
they could have gave
slant routes.
Could have given him to a cornerback. You know what I mean? Just Davante is not. You know what I mean? You didn't really need to give him the money, but you could have used it somewhere else. But I also believe like those guys had a plan. I think, and it goes beyond this season. And I hate to say that because it's like, well, they didn't care about this season. No, they were thinking long term and getting like they didn't want to spend too much money because they know that this season coming up there'll be some guys going into free agency. I know they didn't no one took into account the season that Sam Darnold's having early on, but that's another guy at the end of the season you could really look at. There's some other guys. There's some other guys that are
gonna be in the market
they'll
for
be
a
in the market. And then you have guys who are showing out in college right now. I know right now, earlier on, everybody was talking about Carson Beck, but the way Shadir Sanders has been playing, the Raiders can look to him. Jalen Monroe, he's another mobile guy that's been playing lights out, except for that Vanderbilt game that just finished, where they were upset. And then, you
come to SEC, you gonna know what type of ball we play. Alabama, you're next.
You should go look at his IG page.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying. All right.
Yes.
And again, if you guys seen it, we're not, we understand now. That's what we're saying. We understand now. That's what we're saying. We knew from the beginning, but now it's confirmed. No.
2017.
So for the Raiders, just to wrap it up, the Raiders play. They play Pittsburgh.
Yeah. At home, at Allegiant.
Who's coming off their first loss. They've been pretty solid. They haven't, again, they're also dealing with their own quarterback issues because right now their quarterback is their best running back. No slight against him. That's just the way it's going right now. Jalen Warren's been a little beaten up. The backup to him has been beaten up. So Najee Harris has really been, quarterback. Najee Harris has been out there kind of just trying to tough it out on his own. But, Fields he's always been a great runner. We've seen Fields take like 60-yard touchdown runs. So, but you don't want him to take those hits so much, man, as your quarterback.
That's the part. Like it's cool to see 7 rushes, 64 yards, a touchdown, but it's also sometimes you get smacked up. It's not always a slide. It's not always jogging out of bounds. Sometimes you take really big hits. And you try to limit those to the most important person on your team, most important player on your team.
And we saw Cam Newton take those hits like early on in his career, and we thought, oh, that's such a big dude. There's no way it won't really affect him. And then later into his career, he just didn't want to run because he's like, bro, I'm so beat up.
Yeah.
I don't want to run no more. But
Did you see that viral clip of Cam? He's like doing an interview with this lady, and he's like, "It's over,"
Oh yeah.
It's over, and she's like, "Is it over up here, or is it over in your heart? Is it over in your head, or is it over in your heart?" He's like, "In my head." She was like, "What does your heart say?" "It will never be over." Oh, like, nice.
And you can see it because that was like. He does all the flag football games. He's around those leagues. He does all the the high school stuff. Like he'll go out and he
You gotta
supports.
fight people trying to jump him every once in a while.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta be on your toes
You know?
if you ace boogie.
Hey, he's got his own team. He puts his team into, and his team is like they're elite. Like he goes and gets guys and puts them into those leagues, and they're elite.
Oh, okay. Recruiting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but yeah, they're going through their own quarterback situation right now. Not that Justin Fields is hurt. It's just he's kind of limited. They got again. I want to talk about George Pickens one day and be nice about it and be like, bro, he really is a great receiver, but he's not right now.
You see the videos of him like just not moving,
not
the ball
moving,
snapped, and he's like,
and then at the end of the game,
it's going the other way.
This fool, like, Dallas is walking off, then he grabs that dude's face mask at the end of the game and yanks it down. And then today it was reported that
game's over.
Right.
He's like, how is it a foul if there's no time on the clock?
No penalty.
Yanked his face mask.
Yeah, but also he reportedly got to practice today, didn't go into the practice facility. He didn't go into the locker room where you're supposed to answer questions. You're required by the league, the people that pay, that employ you, the league, to answer questions, media. But instead of going there straight into the locker room, sitting down at his locker, he went into the equipment part of the locker room and sat there and just watched the reporters from outside and didn't answer questions today.
Okay, a little bit of drama
right.
in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Here's another thing that I noticed. This week, we're both playing teams that we've already played this season. So you're playing the Steelers, who the Chargers lost to 20-10, and we're playing the Broncos, who you guys played last week. So we need to trade information on how we're going to end up winning.
I hope they can.
But you guys are going up against Steelers. You said Justin Fields, who's on fire. They've lost 2 in a row. They started 3-0 with that week 3 game versus the Chargers, but they lost the last 2. And people are blaming Justin Fields, saying he's not, the offense isn't good enough for the Steelers. So you guys might get Russell Wilson's first game of the 2024 season in Las Vegas, which would
I would have rather heard that Russell Wilson was going to play for the Raiders.
Oh, what? You don't want to play against him?
No, I mean I do, but more exciting to me would be that maybe we made a deal with Pittsburgh.
Oh,
yeah. So that would have been exciting to me.
They're gonna wait 1 week,
right? Like, oh, hey, you want to trade now?
Yeah. Now that we played already, now
right.
You like trade?
Oh.
To give Russell Wilson. Would you take Justin Fields over AOC?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because you can. AOC is good, but he doesn't have the intangibles that Justin Fields has. He can't move with his legs. Not to say that he come over and we just run him the whole time. But he can make plays with his legs. AOC can't. The things that AOC does well on the field, Justin Fields off athleticism alone could probably do those. He could do those and the rest that
that's
AOC
nothing
knows,
to me.
Right.
And AOC's
right.
Please look at me, guys. I'm a good quarterback.
And that fool walks onto the field and flips the ball 70 yards for no reason. Right.
Yeah.
So nothing against AOC. I think I'm looking forward to what he can do on the field now that he's the quarterback going forward. Well, I don't even know if he's the quarterback going forward because there's no word yet on who started. But
okay. I was gonna ask, if they made a decision to permanently bench Minshew.
Right. But I'm more worried about the injuries that Christian Wilkins is a big injury again.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about being without Davante Adams and
that's how life is now.
Right. And not to downplay his playing, but not to downplay his talent because he's top 5 in the league still at receiver. But Jacoby Myers is a really great receiver in his own right. Mm-hmm. From what we see from Brock Bowers right now, I'm super excited. Just if they can put things around Brock Bowers so that he could just do what he does, that'll be crazy. And then you add a lot of also happy to see Madison in there. He was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not like
Zamir White was injured.
He is injured,
or
but
out for the game.
Also, it was tough to watch Zamir White take the ball 2 steps, and then you see he's on the ground. Like it looked like he don't have no power behind his running. Like
Oh,
he's
gotcha.
always down at first contact. Like, bro, fight. You know what I mean? Do something,
Hey.
man.
Keep going.
Man, you know,
Hey.
they have that meme where like somebody's poking something with a stick, like, hey,
Do something. Come on, Samir.
Like, bro, come on, man.
So even with I guess especially with Davante Adams out, very important to look at the Raiders passing. And it looks like Brock Bowers got the most targets with 12. Yep. That's great, especially for a tight end. But like you always say, he's not a traditional tight end, right? He's a big ass wide receiver. He's not. He can play on the line, HWHATT, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And then second is Jacoby Myers with 9 targets, who finished with 6 catches, 72 yards. So it's going to look different. Bowers and Myers are who we're seeing as like the guys that are going to eat because Davante's gone. Zamir White was out. So
Madison
got 15 carries. That's great, as well as 3 targets.
With
Amir Abdullah.
Yo,
I started. Wait, did I start? No, Sammy started Alexander Madison in one thing.
He got like 10 points.
Yeah, but I saw Amir Abdullah break for 40 yards, and I thought it was Madison. So I was like, "Oh yeah, hey, you got like a big gain," and she was like, "I'm not seeing it on my fantasy app," and I was like, "Oh." Nope, I'm wrong. It was just
jokes.
Amir Abdullah rushing for 40 yards of his 42 on the day. And then didn't do anything else. It was weird watching him wear number 8. I was like, oh, wait. He popped up. I was like, Josh Jacobs?
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
So before we talk about the Chargers, I wanted to ask, you guys have the Steelers coming in. Obviously, with the flux in the offenses, it's, don't really know what to expect. Who's going to be quarterback for the Raiders? Who's going to be quarterback for the Steelers? But you guys are going to have to go against TJ Watt. Is there, are you super worried about that with the Raiders' state of their offensive line? I'm not sure what it is. Or how would you counter an all-pro, future Hall of Famer like TJ Watt for the Steelers?
Before I answer that, give me 1 second.
Yep.
Ready?
1 Mississippi.
Yeah. Oh, man. You always want to say, you always have this thing in your head where, when people ask you that question, you're like, I know how to stop TJ Watt, but to be honest, it's TJ Watt. It's like trying to stop JJ Watt. You can't. But I think they're going to have to do a lot of misdirection. I want to say play action, but play action that means the ball is in the quarterback's hands longer than you want it to be. Yeah. Guys have to block longer now during play action. Madison, Abdullah, if they play Dylan Lowry, if they play Zeus, they're all going to have to do their part in trying to chip him or, helping the tackle that's blocking him. Yeah, they're definitely going to have to do that. They're going to have to have they're going to have to get the ball out of whoever's starting, AOC or Minshew. The ball's going to have to come out of his hands a lot quicker. Yeah, their internal clock in the pocket is going to have to. It's going to have to be sped up right now because TJ Watt is, if he's not, besides Max Crosby, you guys thought I was going to say it. Fuck you guys, Steelers. Besides Max Crosby, TJ Watt is the best defensive end in the league. They have almost the same motor. They don't stop. They don't take plays off. They're relentless at getting to the ball. What are you laughing for?
Speak up, Bo. They don't fucking know.
Oh my god, that's I wish they would have won that game. It would have been more satisfying had they won. But that fool said, "Yo, speak up, Bo. They don't fucking know." That's hilarious.
Just over the ball, just like
that's hilarious. Right, because their O line's just like, wait, what's the play? What's going on? What's the audible? And that fool is so. And he was laughing when he said it because just the tone in his voice. He was like, "Yo, speak up, Bo. They don't fucking know." Like, that's crazy.
I was dying when they started reposting that. Yeah. Shout out to the Condor. I was surprised he played. I was worried he was going to be out again because of that. What is it, ankle? So seeing him get in there, that was good. Hopefully he's good to go versus the Steelers, and we get that Crosby versus Watt going against
And
the other team.
Matt Lombardi, if you're watching this, you're probably not ever going to watch this, but
I'll
shut your
send it to him.
mouth and talk about things you know about. Stop trying to always like those are the kind of commentators or like analysts, a former GM, in fact, that I hate because he's over there talking on things like he knows it, matter of fact, talking about how he thinks that there's turmoil with Max Crosby in the locker room or with the coaching staff because he wasn't at the game. Like he might be wanting out. He's probably going to ask for a trade too. That you can't say stuff like that about someone. Like you think because like
former Raiders general manager Mike Lombardi.
Right.
What?
He went on the Pat McAfee show and was saying he's still disgruntled that he was fired. Him and his father were mad that they both got fired. Ever since then, they've just been really like going in on the Raiders every chance they get. So, but like that's dangerous for like Max Crosby too, because there's some crazy fans out there, and to put that out there, like you kind of really put them in danger. Like, and you don't know, and he's always just like, no, I really have a strong feeling that Max Crosby's upset with the team. He didn't show up to the game when in fact Max Crosby came in, called him a clown, by the way, and was like, look, the team told me to go home because I need all the rest I can on this ankle. And they know if I was at the game, I'd be standing on it for 4 or 3 hours. But I also would be jumping up and down, cheering my teammate because that's the kind of guy I am. So everybody, AP wanted me there, but everybody from the top and all the trainers told him to stay home. So yeah, he was cool. It's weird, but it's weird not to see him there. And like it's also weird that he stayed home because it's a home game. It's like,
oh, gotcha. It wasn't like not traveling across the country. It was like, oh, we're in your city of business, and he didn't go. But like you said, if they're cool with it and the whole team knows it, and they're, that it's not really a problem. It's just Mike Lombardi being a little
right.
All right.
But for you, I mean, hey, he came back. He played this week. You guys play. You guys get Derwin James back this week.
Hey.
With the way Bo Nix is playing, he's not like eye popping, but he's hitting people. So it's gonna be good to have Derwin James back in there, like just flying about in the backfield, and so that way in the back of Bo Nix's head, it's like, oh shit, well, there's an all-pro safety back there.
Exactly. I'm hoping Derwin James crashes down and introduces himself to Bo Nix early.
Me too.
Bo Nix, the Broncos are 3-0 after an 0-2 start.
With no Jerry Jeudy.
Shipped off Jerry Jeudy. Just have Cortland Sutton, Devon Vele. I'm not even sure who they're tied at. Oh, Javonte Williams and Jaleel McLaughlin at running back. Yeah. But that, that didn't scream or really jump off of the paper as like, a team that's going to be putting together win streaks, especially with Bo Nix being a rookie.
And not even a guy like he dropped in the on the depth chart during the offseason, like he fluctuated. Like they were like, nah, we're not going to start him. He's not that great. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, he's like the next coming of so-and-so. We're going to start him. So,
I mean, so he started his first 2 games, he had 2 interceptions a pop. And then his third game, he had no interceptions, no touchdowns. Fourth game, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And then 5th game, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So
there's no 5th game, bro. There's no 5th game.
It's like that never happened.
It never happened, bro.
Check. So he's getting more, it looks like he's getting more comfortable in not making dumb turnovers. We know, Sean Payton is like, I brought you here to freaking run this offense. You can't be making turnovers. Just do it like I'm telling you to do it.
Who did he compare him to? Ferris Bueller?
What?
Yeah, it's just an interview. I think last night they aired it. He was like, look,
this freaking kid trying to get out of.
I think it's Ferris Bueller. Sorry, my phone's on recording my phone, but he says something to the effect that like, look, he's still in that Ferris Bueller stage. He's gonna do things like that, but I still love the kid. I still love the kid. So yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, that's
No,
cool.
no,
That's
no.
kind of
It wasn't
backing
bad.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a positive. That's supportive.
yeah.
I don't think it's going to be Bo Nix that kills us. I know, I think the only reason they won that game they played versus whoever they played last week was because they intercepted the ball 3 times from them. It was just they got outgained both in passing and in rushing by the Raiders, but they intercepted them 3 times. So
Yeah, I think a lot. It had to do a lot more with the Raiders beating themselves than. And I know people are like, "He's a Raiders fan." Say that. No,
no, yeah,
I'm just yeah. It's they beat themselves up. It's hard to. I think it's so deflating after that pick six that everything else, whatever they did, just wasn't going to work. And they just tried harder and harder. They went away from probably the game plan that they had, for that one play, and then they could just never get back on track. So, not to say that they're not that good, the Broncos themselves, but yeah.
I'm hoping that Patrick Surtain does not make as big an impact on this game. Definitely, if throwing, keep it away from him. But I feel like this is going to be another chance for Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman to kind of do what they do best: ball control, run the ball, control
Grind
the
it
clock.
out. Yeah.
So definitely limit the ability for this Denver Broncos offense to let Bo Nix shine, whether that's through the air, rarely, or more often on the ground. That fool can run. He had like 50 yards in a game when they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That shit was
He's
crazy.
fast. I mean, when he was at Auburn, what they ran was literally a running offense where he ran a lot of the time, kind of like what we're seeing with with Justin Fields, almost like now. Like the designed runs or the quarterback runs are all designed runs, So, and that's what Bo Nix ran at Auburn. So we know that he can run. We know he can move. He got the Oregon, and then people were kind of like looking down on him during the draft because they said it was the system at Oregon that made him so successful that season at Oregon, where he was phenomenal. He did great. But people were talking about short passes, a lot of screens, a lot of just real quick slants, and that's why he looked good because there was a whole bunch of yards after catch. But my thing is, you still got to throw the ball to the guy. What they do with it after, that's their talent. But him getting the ball to those guys,
I'm just gonna
that's
put it in
his
your
talent.
hands.
Right. That's his job as a quarterback. So whether it be the system or not, he still did it well. So
yeah, I mean, so as far as versus the Broncos this week for the Chargers, I'm not worried about Bo Nix. I'm not worried about either of their running backs. Not really worried about their wide receivers. I feel like the Chargers defense, although it is a new defense with a new defensive coordinator, coming off a bye, right? So should be fresh, ready to react. Like you said, getting Derwin James back.
yeah.
Now they might try, some running splits with Bo Nix. So getting Joey Bosa back would be great. Khalil Mack always great off the edge. But the linebackers too are going to need to go in, and that's Denzel Perryman and Deion Henley. But
by the way, Denzel Perryman, the last Charger on the team that was with them when they were in San Diego.
Oh damn!
And Bosa, I'm sorry, and Bosa.
Okay, yeah, Bosa, and then Perryman came back, right? Mike
Right.
Williams left, Keenan Allen left. Damn.
The last 2 San Diego Chargers.
The last of the San Diego Chargers. Yeah, so defensively, it's going to be good to get those top players back, but I think also just kind of playing like they have in Jesse Minter's defense, and that's being quick to react and pretty sure tackles. So there have been a couple of missed tackles, but it seems like everybody rallies and wraps up pretty well. So I'm not worried about the Broncos offense. Their defense, I'm hoping that the Chargers, game plan to stay away from Surtain. I know their middle linebacker for the Denver Broncos, Alex Singleton, who had triple digit tackles. He's out for the season.
Oh, yeah.
There's stuff like that where it's it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Rashawn Slater should be back. Joe Alt might not at right tackle. Still has that big knee injury.
I think right now Slater's probably the bigger get back for you guys for the left side because
yep.
I mean Joe Alt's amazing on the right side. Like, of course you want him there, but it's a lot easier to replace him on the right side with like multiple linemen on that right side.
Yeah.
They can switch in and out, but it's harder on the left to just plug and play somebody on the left. So,
yeah, I think Joe Alt could play left tackle too. If Rashawn Slater gets injured, they could flip. You know, Joe Alt from
Notre Dame, baby. Who if you guys aren't watching anything Saturday, they will be playing this Saturday. So if you guys have time, tune in and watch.
Who are they playing?
Are they at Army?
This was like I don't even just watch the game.
Well, hey, we're 4-1. They beat Louisville last week. There's still talks about Riley Leonard not being able to throw the ball, even though he's got like a gazillion touchdowns on the ground. Like I don't know what fans these days are crazy. Now they just want stats. Like, hey, well, he's winning, but I want him to have better throwing stats.
No, you take the dub. You take the dub, fan. You take the dub. Don't worry about the stats or how it happened. Jesus. That's the thing about Justin Fields. It's like he's not doing the stats, but as long as he's winning, Steeler fans weren't mad. And now that he's lost 2 straight, they're like, bring in Russell.
That's what I'm saying. Look, and this is probably
Mr. Unlimited. You got to be unlimited.
This is a bad example because he had like phenomenal numbers this past Sunday, but the same thing Lamar was saying. Lamar Jackson was like, look, nice stats or whatever, like we're winning. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about this team winning.
I don't care about your fantasy.
And hopefully with Rashawn Slater back on the line for the Chargers this week, they can pull out a dub. Protect your quarterback Herbert because he's a little banged up still. So and make holes for your 2 running backs. They've been doing pretty good this year. Just be good. Be better.
We need to beat the Broncos. The Broncos don't need to be 4-2 or whatever.
Not at all. Nothing from Denver should ever be that good.
There's like a certain way that I see the AFC West. It's like, the freaking rich kid Kansas City Chiefs, right? They got a good quarterback. They got a good coach. They got all these championships, whatever. And then there's like the rival Raiders who sometimes goof off, sometimes are really good. And then there's the fucking Broncos who like are going, I feel like are kind of like the Raiders of old, where it's like they're still worried about their old Super Bowls, but are not really, in the mix. Yeah. And if they're above us in the standings, then I can't think that anymore. So we need to bring them down.
Hey, look, this year could just be that anomaly year where like, oh wow,
everyone's in transition. It was just a weird,
It's just a weird season. So
that's gonna be. It's
going to play 5 games, Lance. Take it easy. We're going to play 5 games.
It's going to be interesting if the Broncos get good under Sean Payton with a quarterback that he trusts to put out there, because then all 4 teams are going to be like, anything can happen any week, any divisional game.
Right. That would be interesting.
Yeah, so that's going to be what we're watching out for. Lastly, before we go, Ballinesian of the week, Frankie Luvu, linebacker for the Commanders. Man, 7 tackles, 2.5 sacks, fumble / interception. Freaking Deshaun Watson threw it right to him.
That's what I'm saying, but they called it as a fumble recovery. So he had 2 fumble recoveries in the game. And we were like, no, the other one should be an interception.
Yeah.
Right.
The quarterback threw it forward.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Mans was on fire this week.
He was killing, and shout out to him again. A new father, just has his baby girl now, and he's super excited about the season, about life. So it was great. I got to watch the game with Junior, his brother. Yeah, we were at B-Dub. It's too funny at B-Dub. Like,
that's my brother.
I mean, he right after the game, the win was sealed, and we are about to leave, and of course we're Polynesian, so there might have been a few foul moves before we left B-Dubs, and people were just there's a ton of Raiders fans in there. There were some Ravens fans, and of course we're in Seattle or Washington at least, so there was a ton of Seattle fans, but like they kind of just leave us like, oh, good for you guys, like
Commanders.
Hey,
thanks guys.
Right, but yeah, great seeing him get up like that. He definitely was the Ballinesian of the week, and then to piggyback off of that, Daniel Iguale had a good game, got a sack and a few tackles down in New England. Another guy who we've also just kind of like overlooked, but you can't overlook him now. But Henry Toto, who's starting now down in Houston, is having a hell of a season. Bro, he was popping people on Sunday, like he was getting in there. But
I'm in one league that uses defensive players.
Yeah.
You got to pick a lineman, a linebacker, and a safety.
And safety.
They're actually Yahoo's actually writing blurbs for the defenders now, right? And analyze. It used to be just like they wouldn't even write for the kickers. Yeah, they just put it out. They don't write anything. They just like, oh yeah, he had 4 tackles.
Yeah.
You just have to go in the stats. But they're actually writing like, oh, Henry Toto is leading this defense, and he's gonna be like a starter, someone you can start and get points from in fantasy as a defensive player. So definitely, so cool. Making a mark and producing.
Bro, he was lights out in high school, lights out in Tennessee when he was in Tennessee first, transferred to Alabama, was still probably one of their best players on defense. Got to the league. I mean, he admitted himself that's what he's been working on this whole offseason. The league started, is tackling, but he's got so much better at it. He's really good in coverage. Man, can't say no. It's fun to watch him and Frankie just like at the linebacker position. We've had, I think the last great linebacker we had was Junior Seau. You know what I mean? So it's exciting to see those guys.
Yeah, he's probably one of the greatest.
Troy's not a linebacker, but he was close to it.
Manti.
You know what?
Manti from?
I wish that he got to the league without all the baggage that he had on the show.
Yeah.
You might have seen a different.
You think he would have been a Heisman candidate if not for that?
Probably. I think so.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Great defense, leader of a great defense, but I mean, I think the story helped him, reach out to people, spread his personal story more.
But anyway, shout out.
Anyways,
shout out to Frankie, man. That's a good pick for a Polynesian of the week. He played again, lights out. So cool.
I texted Junior. I was like, this man's on fire,
man. And then not only that, like, because he's been there, like, he's their hype guy. So you see clips of it, like, every week he's hyping he's doing probably right. But then for him to get the ball game, like
the game ball,
and then him do it like that, I was like, I was saying, Jimmy, hey, tell the players and the coach Frankie's not a mascot, huh?
Hey, stop using him for views. Nah, game ball. Dan Quinn cusses a lot. There's a lot of bleeps in the Washington locker rooms.
Old white dude, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be exciting. Jaden Daniels versus Lamar Jackson this week. So Frankie's going to have, he's going to have some spy duty, some rushing. Hopefully, definitely voting or rooting for the Commanders this week in a big game versus one of the best teams in the AFC. Also the Niners play the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. We don't really have time to.
Yeah, that's gonna be big here in Washington since I'm like 30 minutes from Seattle, so that should be big out here. I was hoping to get CMC back in my fantasy this week, but
bro, I'm kind of worried he's not going to be until like week 9, week 10.
I'll hold off till then, I guess.
Yeah, or trade him to me. Not like I'm gonna make the playoffs, bro. I'm losing so bad. I lost to AJ by 0.12.
I saw that.
You know what? The thing was though, I was down to like the last half of Monday Night Football. And I was like, all right, so if Chris Olave only makes one more catch for 5 yards, then I'm going to actually win. That's what I can take. One catch for 5 yards. Fucking 2 seconds later, one catch for 6 yards. I'm like, no, hey, check the spot. Move it back, please, ref, please.
Bro, I in the league, I was playing Will in our other league, in the league I'm in, Will, and he had Kamara and Mahomes. But Mahomes was on paper wasn't doing great. So
yeah,
like, but it was like 136 point something to his 136, and he was like maybe 2 points below me. And I was like, bro, somebody tackle Kamara behind him.
Somebody give the ball to the Chiefs to take 4 kneel downs.
please, something. And then he ends up beating me by like 1 point.
Oh!
I was so sick. I was like, and guess who I'm playing this week in our league?
Who's that?
Will.
Oh, back to back. He's like, I gotta see you again next week in a different.
I was telling Noah, I was like, oh, bro, I almost got your whole family. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, I beat Lance first. I beat you, beat Mason yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I get Will, and now I'm shooting for Eddie.
Yo, yeah. Get it, bro. Keep up. I'm like 1-4. I'm like tied with it's me and Matt at the bottom. So anyways, we're gonna be making some trades. Any shout outs for this week heading into week 6 of the NFL season?
Man, I was gonna shout out Henry and Frankie. But,
Yep.
Actually, you know what? Shout out to my guy Teeny. He's a tattoo artist in American Samoa. He was out here in Washington for a little bit. Really good friend of mine. He just did the Mosooi Gala. He had some amazing pieces that he did, paintings. That was great to see, and love to see stuff like that in American Samoa. I don't know why it took so long for them to start having like galas and stuff like that. Now that me, you, and everybody else who's back home doing like events like that, like we used to be part of those events. Now you guys want to have like nice events. Before it was just like, hey, let's have like a
Before it was very ground level.
Yeah, it's like, hey, open mic at the college, and now it was like, let's have this Mosooi Gala and fashion shows. But shout out to team, shout out to all the talent back home in the arts, whether it be music, painting, fashion wise. There's a lot of fashion stuff coming out of American Samoa. We know a lot of these people, especially cinematography with Tukane and what is Daniel Goodwine? What is his
D Witty.
It's great to see. I miss home so much, and watching stuff like that it brings me closer to home, but at the same time makes me feel farther away from home because I'm not there for these things. So love to see it. Shout out to everybody back home in the arts.
Shout out to shout out to Livasa Island Apparel. I was gonna say shout out to the Hurricanes. I don't know why. Shout out to Samoa Baptist Academy. No.
Everybody would have been like, insensitive. The Hurricanes in Florida? Not those ones.
No, I was thinking, I know we were talking about this in the group chat, but that hurricane is gonna land Wednesday and it's gonna mess some stuff up in West Florida. So yeah, definitely praying for those people. Hopefully a bunch of people can evacuate. But I've been seeing posts like people can't afford to evacuate. They can't afford to pack up and leave.
There's people that are saying like government officials are saying, if you decide to stay in those evacuation areas, you too might lose your life.
Yeah, it's not like sit in the living room and maybe board up the windows. It's like your wall might get ripped up by 180 mile an hour wind gusts. Yeah. So definitely dangerous. It's going to be a dangerous situation, and it's crazy that we've had so many days to like wait for it. Like usually it's like some crazy natural act of God, and it's like just rushes through real quick. We could have never predicted it, but they're watching the storm get stronger and projecting it to get stronger on the way. And kind of run over that panhandle. So,
and if you're from Florida and you still vote for DeSantis, you're an idiot because he's refusing aid from the government just because of his political stand.
oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words from his camp
Politics.
are Kamala Harris and Biden's people are trying to reach him, and he's refusing to take their calls.
It's like, I don't want this to be political. We can do it better than you guys. But but it is. I mean, now everything's super like focused. Like, okay, are you gonna do what you're supposed to do? Or are you gonna make this a political thing?
Right.
How is it gonna affect people's actual lives? That's hopefully.
Shout out to Livaso, man.
Shout out to Livaso Island Apparel. We're gonna have a print run session this week. I told Eli, bro, let me know when you're printing in the garage, and I'll freaking FaceTime in, and we'll just
that'd be dope.
Get to hang out.
That'd be dope. Hell yeah.
But I'll send you a FaceTime request whenever we do that.
For sure. I'm done.
Shout out to the listeners. Appreciate you guys for tapping in this week. We will definitely have more analysis and previews for football season all through the rest of the year, and then transitioning over to basketball, filling up with baseball, just anything sort of sports related. If you have a question or you want us to talk about a certain thing, you can definitely DM us, email us, let us know the topic, what you think. We'll read what you think, and then we'll either agree or lambaste the shit out of your sports take. So definitely hit us up.
If you're but this week only though, if you're a Denver fan, don't DM us because we don't give a fuck.
We don't want to hear anything unless you're giving us secrets on how to beat the Broncos. Thank you everybody for tapping in. This has been the Ballinesian podcast. Forrest, I'm Lance. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay ballin', love and light. Peace. Cheers.